3 takeaways from my last UPW. UPW stands for Unleash the Power Within. It's a Tony Robbins organization, big convention or conference. 3 times I've walked on fire, 3 times in person. I've done it in like virtual a couple times, but it's different. I have to say, go in person if you can go in person. It's unbelievable. This is the first time I've gotten to go with Michael, which was really special to go with him because we've been to some of the other events, but he's never been in person and walked on fire. So it was such a huge thing. The whole point of walking on fire is that if you can walk through fire or walk on fire, you can go through any challenge in life. And it really is true. It's a real feeling of, gosh, when you accomplish that, you're like, holy crap, I just walked on fire. It's really crazy, actually. Kind of like if you've ever run a marathon. I've run a couple of those. When you're done, you're like, oh my God, I did it. It's like getting through something so big and you can't believe you did it. Everyone always asks me, we post all these pictures. There were like, I don't know, something like 19,000 people there. It was crazy. It was insane. We drove up there. It went way into the night. The first night we were there till 3 a.m. I came home at 4. The next night we didn't get home till like 1 in the morning. The third night it was super late. And the fourth night we got home at midnight again. It was like exhaustion and jumping up and down and dancing and changing your state and understanding everything happens in here and it's here connected with here to reduce your life. And one of the biggest things I think that's so important, the big 3 takeaways this time, because every single time I've gone, it has blown me away differently. The first time I went in West Palm Beach, I went with my ladies that I do the mastermind with. I shared a room with Deborah and it was, God, it shook me to this core. It cracked me wide open. It launched me into accepting and deciding to make the decision to launch into the training and coaching with Tony Robbins. And I jumped full in that year. The following year, I went into Plat Partner. This whole last year was my first year as a Platinum Partner, meaning I paid a ton of money to go to all the events and trainings and have one-to-one coach with them. And it's intentional training and learning and growing. And this is now, I'm going into a second year of Plat Partner, and this is the 3rd UPW in person, or Unleash the Power Within. We have like little acronyms because they're such long names. What I left behind is I went in intentionally, kind of with an open heart this time of, I'm open, God, to coming into this place to figure out what is the next step in my life. I had this whole thing about writing out the next version of me of what I wanted and how things of what I originally wanted has changed. And I've talked about that here. I thought I wanted to own a independent brokerage and, grow it indifferently. And I think ultimately what I realized I didn't like to manage and what I call babysit or be that type of leader anymore. I want to coach and inspire and speak and lead and do these types of things and then work with my personal clients in real estate. That's what I'm longing to do. And so that's why I decided to dismantle it and roll into the company called 5 Realty and open the state of Virginia up for that. And it's allowing me that freedom to do that and also grow potentially across the country with just having affiliate agents jump on. So that's super exciting, and to be a part of something new and growing and challenging. I think I'm in that place of life that I had to make that decision, but there was a grieving of my old self to get here. So coming into that space, onto this UPW, because I'm a different person and being side by side with my husband now we've been married 24 years in December, but together almost 29 years. So a long time together. And we've been through hell and back, and that's a whole nother video and topic. But it's interesting because I think for me going in, I had no judgment. I was really excited for Michael to have that experience for himself because he had never been in person. And for those of you that have been in person, it is absolutely insane. The energy in that room and the consideration and the space that's held for you with that love, you can just feel it, is so overwhelming. It's so emotional. I'm always like bawling and crying because it's grace tears. It's not sad tears. And just to have that space and to be intentional about going there to work on myself for those 4 days with my husband, and thank God for our mothers that were able to be with our kids, was such a beautiful blessing in itself. So that's the first thing I took away, is just complete gratitude that I could do it. Number one was that we made it happen, and we were like, we're doing it, and we committed to it, and we went. Things are blowing up around us, as always in business. Things are never always going the way you want it to, but I just said it doesn't matter, we're going. And I think that's really important in life, that when you make a decision, no matter what, you have to stay committed to what you decide. So that's the first thing I learned this time around, because sometimes a situation is not perfect in life, and you cannot wait for perfect to act on what you know you need to do. Number 2 that I learned was that that the answer is right in front of me, meaning I was searching and searching for trying to reevaluate how I'm going to run my business now that my assistant is going to be leaving as an assistant, and I didn't know what to do. And the answer was there the whole time. I just needed to hire that VA and step out of that fear, because I had this limited belief on VAs and not being able to see them in person, and that I really didn't need an in-person agent here, that I can tap when I need to. And there's some companies that help us with showings, and I had made up this story in my head that I had to have it exactly a certain way. And that's not true. I think if you're open and more flexible, things can kind of work out for yourself. So some of the solutions came to me leaving the situation here to make that happen. And the third thing I took away was, in that place where he talks about closing the gap on the third day, meaning you take an audit about where you are currently and not making it worse than it is and not making it better than it is, like not glamorizing it or pretending that it's not, everything's fine. When people say I'm fine and they're not, don't do that. But don't think, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Like, don't turn it into something that it's not either. Where do you really want to go? Like, we did that wheel of life and kind of measured where I am in my life, and it's going to be constantly changing, but I really took an honest look. And this is what I'm so grateful for, is that where I am right now with my husband and our relationship, he was able to be truly honest with me about, hey, honey, what I think you do now is when something bad happens, you make the problem so huge. And sometimes you overreact, and in that overreaction, you blow things up and you work yourself up, and it turns it into something that doesn't need to. And I was like, wow, do you do that? I mean, I think that's a lot of people do that, right? But I was like, wow, it's totally called out. I didn't get mad. I think in the past, even a couple years ago, I would have been like, how dare you? I would have chewed him up for even saying that to me. So I think it's really important to give him props for being able to be brave enough to confront me and say like, hey, this is an issue, and I think it's holding you back. And my journey has been so tremendous in the growth that I've seen within myself, and I celebrate that fully, and I'm so grateful to God for that. But I also know there's so much work and so much healing that's going to continually need to happen, and there's no such thing as it being done. I rode my bike today, and it's the lady at Just King was like, the healing journey is never done, and that's so freaking true. And that's why I continue to go. We're going to Date with Destiny next month, and that's where you rewrite yourself. And I did that last year, and I cannot wait to go back to see where I am now and see where can I go next, right? It's always this beautiful ride that we're on, this human experience. So the third thing is that I had that audit, and he said that, and I was like, wow. And Tony Robbins talks about, is it like, if you think of a movie, is the movie in color or is it in black and white? In color is so much more vivid and real. Is the issue like right in front of you, or are you letting yourself put it back a little bit? And I think that's the lesson I learned for myself. First and foremost, I need to take a step back when things don't go my way, because they don't go your way a lot in business, ladies, or even in life in general, right? Things are constantly happening, and it's a bunch of crap, these people that act like that doesn't, because it does. It's how you respond to it. Like, what are you doing? Are you bothering yourself about it? And how are you labeling this thing instead of saying, okay, good, that's an issue that we need to resolve, and I'll handle it and it'll be fine. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This is the worst thing ever, and everything's going to fall apart, and this is going to go, and then we die. And I don't know what it is about things that have happened in the past. It's almost like I want to throw gasoline on it and make the fire bigger than it is. And that's something out of habit, I think. I think it's out of habit that I used to do from just growing up in a certain way and past traumas. And I realized that, wow, I need to stop doing that. That's not serving me anymore, and that's my true audit. And so that's where I am and where I want to go. I have to look at that gap of what I need to do and challenge myself to have honest looks and practice it. It's not going to be perfect. I may still freak out, but having an awareness to go, is this me doing that freak out again, or is this really warranted for when this problem comes up? So those are the biggest three things I learned at UPW this time. Also just seeing like friends, it's like revisiting, it's like going to a reunion when you go to see these people in the partnership world, because we're all like a very tight-knit family. They're from everywhere across the country, people doing all types of business, all places in life. And it is such a beautiful place that all these people pay this kind of money to invest in themselves and grow themselves. And they want to get better. They want to do bigger things. And the level of people in there, it's like going into the room of trying to make yourself better. And so that is what I love about it. Just like I love my Tom Perry events for that same reason. And just being around people that want to grow and learn, it's just such an inspiring thing for me. So those are the biggest things I learned. And if you want to know more about it, let me know in the comments below. I would love it if you guys would shoot me a like and a subscribe to follow, because The content's all the woman empowered now because I finally found my name, and it's all about like not just in real estate, but any kind of business. But my conduit, my path has been real estate and now coaching and doing all different things in life. So if you found this helpful, I would love that like and subscribe. Take care of yourself. Until next time, bye-bye.